What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel here from the Geek Speak Nation channel, and I'm here to bring you my review of Casablanca.
Louis, whatever gave you the impression that I might be interested in helping Laszlo escape?
Because, my dear Ricky, I suspect that under that cynical shell, you're at heart a sentimentalist. Oh, laugh if you will, but I happen to be familiar with your record. Let me point out just two items. In 1935, you ran guns to Ethiopia. In 1936, you fought in Spain on the loyalist side.
And got well paid for it on both occasions.
The winning side would have paid you much better.
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
Well, it seems that you're determined to keep Laszlo here.
I have my orders.
Oh, I see. Gestapo spank.
My dear Ricky, you overestimate the influence of the Gestapo. I don't interfere with them, and they don't interfere with me. In Casablanca, I am master of my fate. I am
Major
captain...
Strasser's here, sir.
You were saying...
Excuse me.
So, you clicked on the video, and you're probably wondering to yourself, why is Daniel reviewing the 1943 film, because it was released in the United States during that time, Casablanca? What about this film? Why is he reviewing it? So, I am taking an independent study course underneath one of my professors here at my college, and so I'm going to be working on films. I'm going to be shooting short films and things of that nature. I'm really excited, but as a part of the course, I'm writing essays about films, and I'm watching films and analyzing them. And so one of my first films was Casablanca, and what we're talking about right now is American noir filmmaking. And so this is going to be a kind of artsy-fartsy when it comes to this review, because I did a lot of time analyzing specific elements about this film. With that, guys, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these classic films, so keep that in mind, because, I just want to find a way to incorporate what I'm doing in class into my own personal life and continue to have fun with movies, because I just love talking about them so much. So let's get on with this review. 1942 Casablanca. This film is a classic by all means of the definition. I can say that I don't really watch many classical movies. I don't know if it's really a fault to just me not taking the time out to go do that, or I just haven't really had much time to be introduced to them. But nevertheless, really, really old classical films, I really haven't had the chance to watch many of them. I have seen films like Citizen Kane, but that's about it. And so I need to really expand my repertoire of classic films. But sometimes when you go back and watch old black and white films, in a certain sense, it can't quite compare. Using Citizen Kane as an example, sometimes for me as a modern moviegoer in this current day and age, it's different for me. I've seen movies like The Dark Knight. I've seen Drive, I've seen all these things that I love, or The Prestige, and I've seen all these crazy movies that I love and have had such an impact on me and have blown my mind, so that when I go back and watch something like Citizen Kane, sometimes it gets hard for me to appreciate what that film is because of the time period it came out in, and just how far it was pushing the boundaries and just how amazing of a film it really is. So I try to push that aside and try to really analyze the film for what it is, and not only by modern standards, but also just enjoy the film for its value and the story that it's trying to tell and how it tells it. But I can honestly say that Casablanca is an amazing, amazing film, and that it is a film that transcends time in a sense, that no matter when you watch it, it is always going to have that same impact, that no matter new goers to this film or old ones, the story is just so riveting and intense. It's part political thriller, but also part, American noir film, but also part melodrama, part romance. It's really, really engaging. And I really did not expect that going into this film, and just being really just blown away by just how engaged I was watching this film, as if it was just any other crime drama I had just tuned into watching on cable or something like that. I'm kidding, no one watches cable. So Casablanca. The story revolves around Rick, played by the amazing Humphrey Bogart, who owns this, this kind of gambling den, this seedy kind of place inside of Casablanca, the city, underneath Nazi regime occupation. And the story revolves around him meeting this femme fatale from his past, this former lover, this former flame. Here's looking to you, kid, who comes out of his past and comes back to haunt him, in a sense, and comes back with a proposition based off who she is with now and this whole entire political aspect that goes really into it. I don't know why I'm being so cryptic. I mean, the film came out in 1942. His former lover is married to the leader of, this political rebels against the Nazi regime. And what I found the most interesting about the film, not just the commentary it had on the socio-political atmosphere at the time, but the character of Rick himself was someone very interesting to me. I think even from the moment you're first introduced to Rick in the film, he is playing at a chessboard alone in a side room. We spent a lot of time analyzing the lighting in this film because it is something phenomenal. Just looking at the scene where you're looking at the gambling den, it's bright, it's lively, it's smoky, it's hazy, it has all these weird characters and guys going around probably doing some not good things, not blatantly out in the open. There's nothing crazy like prostitution or anything like that going on. There's nothing obvious going on, but the people in here are doing things going beyond that. And this world, living in this world where refugees and human flesh, human beings have price tags to them, and human beings are just, this currency during this time period. And it's very, it's very like engaging and just makes your skin kind of crawl. And when we're first introduced to Rick, he's in this side room playing chess, like I said, and the way the lighting is, it just illuminates his hands like he's playing this game or whatever visual metaphor you want to go into. There's a lot that you can dissect from this film. Of this man who plays his game in the light, but the way the shadows are going, it's like the shadows are just really just making up, the outline of his face, and it's so interesting, as if he is a man who's, created and morphed and, just defined by the shadows, his dark past, which I found really interesting. And that he is more so of an anti-hero and is not really a hero of and of itself. I think he is a man who has a good heart, who has good intentions, who wants to do good in the world, but he sees the circumstances he's in, and he's just a product of that, and he's trying to adapt without fully losing who he truly is. And it's such a powerful character, and Humphrey Bogart gives an amazing performance because he comes off as like, this like, he's given this villainous introduction, and then he comes off as like this guy who just, he's very smart. He's one step ahead of the next guy. He doesn't care about this. He's just doing this to survive, to just get on day by day. What drives this guy? But when his ex-lover comes back into his life, and that changes who he completely is, because when he goes into that drunken tirade with Sam at the club and everything's closed down and the shadows are on him again, when he's going back reflecting into his past that shapes him and haunts him, you get this version of Rick who is just so broken and so driven by his heartbreak, his ache, by how much he was kicked down by the world and how much wrong has been done upon him and that he's done upon others. It's just so interesting and just so riveting, just looking at Rick's character and all that he goes through. I think the ex-lover, played by Ingrid Roger? Oof. I just typed a paper on this and I can't remember her last name. But actress Ingrid did a really amazing job as portraying a character that I believe at the time wasn't very popular. This very driven, independent character who can function without her partner. But yet still enjoys and has desires, and there's nothing wrong in having a character that's presented that doesn't have a care about what others think of her and what she has and what she wants. She's going to go for it, no matter how selfish it is or just how it benefits others. She's going to try to go after what she wants, and she's a very strong character, and it's very interesting. And the way she also, just like Rick, is conflicted about all that time they spent together and all this, there's turmoil they went through after separating due to various circumstances, as you all well may know if you've seen the film. I truly think it was just really an amazing performance by her, and also the Spanish officer who had helped escape at the end and things of that nature, who also plays more of a villainous role. There's just amazing performances in this film and some amazing uses of lighting which is really key in this film, and just how they use darkness. And I think that's a tribute to the characteristics of film noir, which I found really interesting. And just what made the genre so great is its atmosphere and just how engrossing it really is. And I'm really glad I got a sense of that going into the film. But I think the only thing I didn't really like about the film is just the ending. Which is really bold because, I mean, come on, it's one of the most iconic endings of all time. He's looking at you, kid, and getting on the plane and everything. This looks like the start of a beautiful friendship. All that stuff. But I guess I have to attribute this to my modern sensibilities. But the third act is just like, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say rushed, but it's just like it kind of suspends believability at certain parts. Because he just shoots the Nazi commander, and he's like, "Hey, the commander's been shot, gang." And it's just like, all right, we're not gonna check your pocket. We're not gonna check anybody in this room right now who's near this dead guy. Y'all just walk out of the hangar bay. I actually expected a more tragic ending for Rick. I think his ending is going to be inevitably tragic afterwards. He's going to be an enemy eventually of the Nazi regime, and I think this film, 1942, war didn't end until 45, so a lot can happen over those few years, especially acting as someone trying to work against the Nazi regime. And just seeing this redemptive quality was really great, but something about that ending, man, it was just really weird. It was really weird. And then it's just like, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Forget that part where I tried to kill you. I'm gonna help you now. All right, that's how it's gonna happen. And he's just like, okay, you know what? This is iconic. I guess I gotta just let this slide. But besides that, I really enjoyed Casablanca and honestly really had a great time and see that it is a masterful work of filmmaking. And it is a film I really enjoyed and want to watch more times than what I have and see it multiple times again, even though I have watched the heck out of this movie. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give Casablanca a 9 out of 10. So, have you seen Casablanca? Let me know in the comment sections down below what you think of this classic film. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is there any other classic films you recommend I should watch in my journey of going through this film course, this independent study course? Let me know in the comment sections down below, guys. And anyways, thank you so much for supporting the channel, working on the video, talking about what we're going to be doing next with the channel. But until that happens, I still got classes to go to, I still have projects to do, and I'm still going to try to keep making videos as much as I possibly can and try to keep it to a regimen, even though it's been hard. No excuses, just got to get the work done, just got to put the work in. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the support, and do not forget that I've been Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.